welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of every recipient of the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tales of Honor Podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch, and today's episode is episode number 217, and if this is your first time hearing this podcast, welcome, and please be sure to subscribe wherever it is you are listening. This ensures that you get new episodes whenever they come out every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're looking for other ways to support the podcast, other than listening, sharing, rating, reviewing, you can also head on over to strikeforceenergy.com and use the promo code BEARD20, BEARD20, to give you 20% off your order every single time. They're not a sponsor of the show, but I am an affiliate of Strikeforce Energy, and they are a great way to consume an energy drink without that nasty taste from Red Bull and other canned energy drinks. So go ahead, if you are looking for an alternative, head on over to strikeforceenergy.com and give them a support, and remember to use the promo code BEARD20. And now, a tale of honor. Walter was born on Christmas Day, 1930, in Melrose, Massachusetts, and went to school in Malden, Reading, and Walpole. He enlisted in the U.S. Army a month before his 17th birthday, and when his age was discovered, Walter was discharged in January of 1948. He then enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps 2 months later in Baltimore, Maryland, and attended recruit training at Parris Island. Upon completion, he sailed to China from San Francisco for duty with the 3rd Marines. Returning to the States, Walter was stationed at Camp Pendleton, California, in June of 1949, and was then transferred to the Marine Barracks at the Naval Air Station in Seattle, where he was married to Elizabeth Hickling. He reenlisted on the 20th of July, 1950, before returning to Camp Pendleton and deploying to Korea. It was his actions during the Battle of Incheon that would posthumously earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity, at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, while serving as a rocket gunner attached to Company F, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines, 1st Marine Division Reinforced, in action against enemy aggressor forces near Sosuri, Korea, on 17 and September 20, 1950. Dug in a hill overlooking the main Seoul Highway when 6 enemy tanks threatened to break through the battalion position during a pre-dawn attack on September 17, Private First Class Monegan promptly moved forward with his bazooka under heavy hostile automatic weapons fire and engaged the lead tank at a range of less than 50 yards. After scoring a direct hit and killing the sole surviving tank man with his carbine as he came through the escape hatch, he boldly fired 2 more rounds of ammunition at the oncoming tanks, disorganizing the attack and enabling our tank crews to continue blasting with their 90mm guns. With his own and an adjacent company's position threatened by annihilation when an overwhelming enemy tank infantry force bypassed the area and proceeded toward the battalion command post during the early morning of September 20, he seized his rocket launcher and, in total darkness, charged down the slope of the hill where the tanks had broken through. Quick to act, when illuminating shell hit the area, he scored a direct hit on one of the tanks as hostile rifle and automatic weapons fire raked the area at close range. Again exposing himself, he fired another round to destroy a second tank, and as the rear tank turned to retreat, stood upright to fire and was fatally struck down by hostile machine gun fire when another illuminating shell silhouetted him against the sky. Private First Class Monegan's daring initiative, gallant fighting spirit, and courageous devotion to duty were contributing factors in the success of his company in repelling the enemy, and his self-sacrificing efforts throughout sustain and enhance the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country." His Medal of Honor was presented to his widow by the Secretary of the Navy, Dan Kimball, on the 8th of February, 1952, just 9 months after their son, Walter Monegan III, was born. He was originally buried in Incheon, Korea, but on the 19th of July, 1951, Walter Carlton Monegan Jr. was reinterred in Arlington National Cemetery, Section 34, Site 4513. And that was a tale of honor. Thank you so much for listening to Tales of Honor Podcast. Please head on over to talesofhonorpodcast.com for more information, other ways to listen and support the podcast, and please be sure to leave a good rating and a nice review, and share it with a friend or some family members. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them on over to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrosch. Thanks for listening.